Section 5. 1. Smartphones and wearable devices are very convenient. However, as they get smaller and thinner, they are able to hold less electricity. Constantly recharging them takes away a lot of the convenience. Some scientists think they have found a solution to this problem: the human body. Our bodies naturally create energy. If this energy can be harvested and converted into electricity, it can be used to recharge our devices. In the future, our clothes might be able to collect energy from the warmth of our skin. Masks are another possibility. They can use our breath as a form of wind power to create electricity. There is even a tiny device that gathers energy from the movements we make as we walk. These devices are not ready for consumers yet. However, it is likely that our breath, warmth, and motion will be soon recharging
2.
our phones.
Potatoes are used to make ink, medicine, and beauty products, as well as food. But did you know that potatoes have also helped improve Wi-Fi signals on airplanes? Many airlines allow passengers to connect to the internet through Wi-Fi. However, this signal was not always very strong. To improve this technology, engineers decided to run some tests. They needed a plane full of passengers for several weeks because the human body absorbs and reflects Wi-Fi signals. Of course, people can't sit on a plane that long, but potatoes can. Potatoes contain water and minerals in amounts that are similar to the human body. Therefore, they affect Wi-Fi signals in the same way as a human passenger. So, the engineers decided to fill the seats of their plane with bags of potatoes. Thanks to those patient potatoes, the engineers discovered ways to provide stronger Wi-Fi signals.
Here is an interesting experiment. First, kneel down on the floor and place an empty plastic cup about 20 centimeters in front of your knees. Then, put your hands behind your back. Now, lean forward and try to knock the cup over with your nose. Most girls can do this, but boys usually lose their balance and fall over. Why is this? Your balance can be kept when your center of gravity, COG, is over your base of support, BOS. In this experiment, the BOS of both girls and boys is the same, from their knees to the tips of their toes. However, they have different COGs. In general, most girls have a low COG near their hips. Boys, on the other hand, have a high COG up around their shoulders. Therefore, when a girl leans forward on her knees, her COG stays over her BOS, while a boy's
4.
does not.
Is there any milk in the refrigerator?
Yes, there is half a bottle. Do you want me to order more?
Although this may sound like a typical conversation between two people, Speaker B is actually a smart device. These days, many common household devices can understand spoken commands and respond to them. Moreover, these smart devices are all linked to a bigger system known as the Internet of Things, IoT. The IoT is a network that allows devices to connect to the internet and share data with one another. This network can even include artificial intelligence, AI, which has the ability to learn from past experiences and make decisions based on logic. As more and more devices become part of this network, it will gradually change the way we live. Someday, homes, offices, and even people all across the world may be part of a single
Section
giant
6.
network.
1. A rainbow in a bright blue sky is a beautiful sight. But did you know there are also rainbows at night? Just as sunlight produces rainbows, moonlight produces rainbows too. These lunar rainbows are known as moonbows. The basic principle of a moonbow is just like that of a rainbow. However, because moonlight is weaker than sunlight, moonbows look white instead of colored to human eyes. So, when can we see a moonbow? First, the air needs to have enough moisture in it, like when or right after it rains, or when you are near a waterfall or a sea. Second, there must be a bright moon which is low and almost full. Also, a dark sky is necessary. Finally, the moon must be behind the viewer. Because of all these requirements, moonbows are much less common than rainbows. That is why we do not
2.
see them often.
Imagine a burning hole that is about 70 meters wide and 30 meters deep. Is it the door to hell? Actually, it is called the door to hell, but it's just a famous tourist attraction in Darvaza, a village in Turkmenistan's Karakum Desert. In 1971, scientists started digging for natural gas in this area. However, the ground around the site soon collapsed, creating a huge hole. Then, poisonous gas began escaping through the hole. In order to protect people in the area, the scientists decided to burn off the gas. They thought that it would take only a few days. Even more than 40 years later, however, the hole is still burning. No one knows when this huge fire will stop. Maybe you can visit the door to hell before
3.
it stops burning.
For 8 months, 6 people lived by themselves on a Hawaiian volcano. When they communicated with others, there was a 20-minute delay in sending and receiving messages. They stayed indoors most of the time. If they went out, they had to wear a spacesuit. Their behavior may sound strange, but they were actually a part of a NASA study. Its goal was to learn about the mental effects of living on Mars. Everything they did was closely observed. They wore special sensors that detected their moods, and their voice levels were recorded. They could even use virtual reality devices to pretend to be alone on a beach because being with each other all the time wasn't easy. NASA hopes that the information gathered from this project will be useful. It could help NASA choose people with the right personality to survive a
4.
trip to Mars.
Did you know Earth is still developing? Every day, earthquakes and volcanoes are creating new land or changing the existing landscape. One example is Surtsey, a volcanic island near Iceland. A fisherman first saw volcanic activity there on November 14, 1963. He saw hot lava coming up to the surface of the water. This formed a small island in the sea. The eruption lasted for more than 3 years, and the island grew to a size of 2.7 square kilometers. It was named after the god of fire in Nordic myths, Surtur. From the start, Surtsey has been a place of study for scientists. It has provided information on how islands form and develop. Also, it has been protected since its birth because it allows scientists to observe how plants and animals from other places settle on new land. Because of the island's great scientific value, UNESCO named it a World Heritage Site in 2008.
1. Most birds attract mates with their beautiful feathers or songs. However, the bowerbird does something very different. It builds and decorates a special structure called a bower. At the start of mating season, the male bowerbird begins to gather small sticks. It then arranges them into a bower, and sometimes even makes a path leading up to it. Next, it chews berries or charcoal, mixing them with saliva. Then, this mixture is used as paint for the bower's walls. Finally, it begins to decorate its bower with brightly colored objects. The male bowerbird spends hours collecting things like seashells, flowers, stones, and berries. Some will even gather small pieces of colorful plastic or glass. Female bowerbirds then wander around from bower to bower. They look at the decorations and taste the paint. When they find a bower that they like, they choose that male
2.
to be their mate.
Can honeybees save lives? It is possible because they have an excellent sense of smell that can be used for discovering bombs. During the Iraq War, U.S. scientists did an experiment using honeybees. They hid bombs in different places and sent trained honeybees to find them. The honeybees successfully found all of the bombs. They did not even miss bombs that had a weak scent. There are other reasons using honeybees to find bombs is practical. They are inexpensive to take care of and convenient to carry. Most of all, they are easy to train. All the scientists have to do is give them delicious nectar as a reward whenever they find a hidden bomb. For all these reasons, the scientists think honeybees could use their sense of smell to find bombs and save lives all
3.
around the world.
Britain's Natural History Museum hired some new workers. What is their job? It is eating animals' dead bodies. It sounds scary, but the workers never complain. That is because they are beetles. Beetles are natural cleaners that have been around for over 200 million years. They eat animal waste. Moreover, they eat the dead bodies of animals, except for the bones. The beetles used by the museum are only about 10 millimeters long, but surprisingly, they can eat about 4 kilograms a week. In addition to working at museums, these beetles also work for scientists. In the past, scientists used strong chemicals to remove the skin and muscle from the bones of animals they wanted to study. Unfortunately, those chemicals could damage the bones. However, the beetles eat all the other body parts and leave the bones untouched. Thanks to these new workers, scientists can get clean and undamaged bones.
Many animals change color to hide from predators. However, there is one animal that changes more dramatically. This animal is the mimic octopus, and it lives in the sea near Indonesia. The mimic octopus does not have shells or bones. This is one reason why it has developed a unique way of protecting itself. It tries to look like other sea animals. It mimics different creatures in different situations by changing not only its color but also its shape. For example, when it wants to move around quickly, it takes the shape of a poisonous flatfish to avoid any sudden attacks. Also, when a damselfish comes near, it will change its shape into that of a sea snake. The damselfish swims away because they are often eaten by sea snakes. In this way, the mimic octopus can stay safe from predators. Surely, Master of Transformation is a great nickname for it.